Hey there, boys and girls of the YouTube world. Today, the Duff dog and I, and hanging out on his phone, Chin, are gonna see if we can't get a little bit more progress on the 1966 Ford Bronco. So one of the things is she's leaving some spots on the floor. We can't be having that. It's coming out the splines where the yoke comes out of the transfer case. So we're gonna schmoo that up with some silicone. We're gonna get the top off of it. We're gonna get some hubcaps on it. We're gonna get the steering wheel straightened out. We've been driving it a bunch. The steering wheel sits kittywampus. Duff loves riding in it. We're gonna maybe get a door panel on it. We got some pieces we need to put on it, but oh man, did this thing have silver interior? I think that was 66 only. How did I never notice that? Anywho, let's get at it. First thing we're gonna do, since I got big strong Chin here. Hercules, Hercules!
Hercules, Hercules, Hercules!
We're gonna get this top off. I think it's only held on by hopes and dreams from what I remember. So let's do that. Also, on a side note on the top, viewer who bought Lloyd, my old 55 Ford, right here. He's got a friend who's restoring one of these, who's got a full top. He wants to go to a half top, so we're gonna make a trade. We're gonna give him this half cab in the threshold there, and we're gonna get his full top and the back seat. So just in case Duff finds a lady friend, because we know I'm never gonna, we'll have that going for us. Plus we're just gonna take the top off, because everybody wants to be topless for the summer.
I mean, it's not good under there.
We'll leave that up to Puddin' if you're a male. Wet Spot Farms, they're slamming beans in the ground over there at the Case IH air seeder. I don't know if that's a Concord or if that's Case. So we got ourselves a little farming video over here. A lot of dust going these days. I think the last day to plant corn was like June 1st, and it's June 9th today. It's 6-9 day. I think it's the 15th is the last day for beans, or something to do with the subsidy federal crop insurance stuff. So these guys are going to beat the band, and then once they slam it in the ground, then they go behind it with a rock roller, which is like these great big dough rollers, but are real heavy. They pull them around and smash all the rocks in the ground because nobody likes picking rock anymore. And then they'll be spraying. You can already see Landon's getting some weeds growing in between his corn over here. Logan needs to spray the Sunny Hill Farms quarter over there. Okay, let's do Bronco things. You got that top unbolted yet? He's just poking around, not doing anything. We just got done doing tires on the old Silver Bullet here. You put a tank of gas and a set of tires and we just tripled the value of that car. Even though it's the LE, the luxury edition, it's got the gold cow in the front and such. 660 ballin'. Keep an eye out for him on the road. Oh, that thing's a hybrid. I can see the plug-in from here. You got that top off yet? Oh, this thing looks so much more gooder. You can see there was supposed to be 2 bolts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 10, 12, 14, 16. 16 bolts holding it down. We had 4.
Oh, there was 5, the one in the middle of the top.
Oh, okay. Close enough. It looks like this threshold's got a couple bolts in the middle here. Guessing there's one on the side. And then that'll come out. And then these door tops, like that, these 2 bolts hold it on. There's probably one in the middle somewhere. That one right there that's already missing. And I think, yeah, these 2 are already broken. So, take the door tops off. It's gonna be way good. I'm excited to go topless. You guys probably aren't excited to see it, but let's do this. First step to getting these door tops off, gotta get these 2 screws out. And these 2, which that one snapped off flush, not a big deal. We're gonna have to see if we can't Get the remnants of that screw out of there so we can get this door frame out. And then I think we can just pull this chunks of plexiglass right out of there. That'll be a good idea. Don't you think? Yeah. Give it a little looby doob. Get the locking pliers. Hopefully it just walks right out. Hopefully. Of course it won't. Now we're gonna get angry with it. There, that should get her snuck by. Now we just gotta get these 2 1/4-inch bolts. We should be good to go. Famous last words. It's never that easy, is it? Don't snap off. The odds it just lifts right out of there. Well, looks like we got one more screw down here that's loose. Then the latch is even loose and missing a screw. So looks like that screw right there is holding it in. And look at our latch just dancing around in there. It's missing a screw there. This one ain't even tight. Oh man, no wonder this thing is such a rattle trap. Oh my gosh, it didn't break off. Perfect. Guessing these 3 screws were all matching at one time. One of these is not like the other. Second time's a charm, right? Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Look how much gosh dang better that thing looks. It's like we took the mullet off it. Gave it a nice bowl cut. Those are coming back, right? What do you think, Duff? Look good to you? Yeah, so much better. That's what's really cool about these is you can take all this stuff off so they don't look hideous. I always thought the later Broncos and the later Blazers were, you know, you got that door frame there, just looked hideous. This door seal, silicone is hideous as well. Well, let's see if the other side goes as well. I feel like the other side had more hardware in it, which might be a blessing. It might be our demise. Who knows? It might be a surprise. We're like pudding, rhyming away. We don't want to be like that guy though. Well, sure enough, missing that hardware down there, but at least we got both our door hinge screws. We might have to take the door panel off to get at that one down there in the inside, if it's not already out. It's already got some mismatched door panel hardware. We're missing an armrest. The door latch, handle, whatever, that's all stripped out. So that's perfect. And yeah, this one's busted off. And that one's a Phillips. So let's see if that comes out. 50-50, it either is or it ain't. Come on now. There we go. Remind me to fix all these screwed up threads and missing bolts and stuff, because you know it's never going to happen, right? You know these are probably never going back on. Maybe in the winter for storage. That's about it. This window we're just going to roll down because it's still the correct window, even though it's half out of track. Now, are we pulling the door panel or not? Sweet. Looks like it only goes down far enough for that one screw, so you shouldn't have to pull the door panel off anyway. Yeah, we need to fix some wing window latches too. The whole wing window is just kind of kitty-wampus. It don't really want to line up or seal that well. I'm sure there's no flexing in this. So here's our next debacle. That window don't go all the way down. And part of the window track, I don't know if it's supposed to stay with it or not. I feel like it is to guide this thing, but this window track is, you know, should be about right here. She's just kind of hanging out over here. So there's some goodness screwing that all up. And then this one, you know, should be right here. And she's kind of hanging out about like so. So we might see if we can just get that glass fished out of there. You know, at least that way we got a template for the other side. Seem like a good idea? I concur. Let's see what happens. Just sneak it off the track. Oh yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now we just gotta find somewhere to break that. She's got a couple battle wounds there. It's seen some things. I suppose we're missing the frickin' guide on the other side, so we can't put a chunk of glass in even. Dang it. Well, since we're working on cosmetics and we lightened up the roof, let's lighten up some hubcaps. I got myself a brand new Lennox 3 5/8 hole saw. We're gonna try to turn her real slow. We're gonna try to use lots of lube, keep her nice and cool. And we're gonna try to ruin a couple more hubcaps that actually fit. So let's see how this goes. Hubcap trial number 3 on this thing, I think. We got our Delco heavy duty drill press. Came with the new shop. Have I told you that we're in a new shop? God, go check out the other channel, more Mortske Repair. Yeah, that's the best name that you guys come up with, I guess, that I approved of anyway. And yeah, check out the video on this new shop and this new drill press and new location and new lights, new ceiling fans. New everything. I mean, we lost the old one. Check out the video on the tour of that before we left. And a bunch of other stuff on that channel. Go check it out. And subscribe and like and comment and share and all that good stuff so we can get that channel rolling, so that we can keep this channel going, so we can keep this shop, which is significantly larger than the other one. And Duff is still has an addiction to treats and rides, and gas is expensive, so help us out. Go check it out. More Mortske Repair. Maybe even buy some sweet swag with Duff on it. Next level shirts. It's getting warm out. We're taking tops off. Get yourself a new top. Hide the beer belly that you gained over the winter. Link down below to the merchandise. Back to the Delco that came with the shop. This is how I look for drill presses. You want to find ones that got 3 pulleys. Everybody's like, oh, it's got 5 pulleys. It's like, no, those are 5 grooves. 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. 4 grooves. You want to have this intermediate pulley. So you got your motor back here, and you got spinning the absolute slowest speed you can. So you take your pulley back here and you put it on the smallest one, hooked up to the largest one here, hooked up the smallest one here to the largest one here. So this thing's just barely turning. It should be like 195 RPM. No, it can't be. It's gonna be like 780. But anyway, for metal, you want them turning nice and slow. So if you're in the market looking for a drill press and you do metal work, like most of you probably are, get one that's got 3 pulleys. You'll be very happy. Get an old one if you can. This new stuff is no bueno. This is a Chinesium one, but it's probably from the 80s anyway. And yeah, if you're just doing woodwork, get yourself a 2 pulley setup. But you'll save on a lot of bits if you get a slow one like this. Enough yakking, more hole drilling. Here we go. Let's see if we can't screw this up again. We got to figure out a better way to fixturize this. So basically we're just gonna wipe the oil off and try holding it with a rag. That should work, right? No, that's a terrible idea. Got it. Now I'm gonna take and hit this thing up with a rat tail bastard file thinger. I just like saying bastard file. Duff's just out there being all majestic like. Watching our have a nice day matey flag and watching the semis drive by. Must be gravel hauling season. Anyway, I'm gonna take a bastard file, clean this up. Let's make sure it fits first before we screw up our, I don't know, 7th hubcap of the month. Oh yeah, it's gonna be golden. Stay golden, boy! This is my favorite file. I don't know what brand it is, but it's half round, half flat. I really like it. Everybody's got to have a favorite file. She's real sharp, so we're gonna try to unsharpen it. It's the only thing that's real sharp around here. That's a knee slapper. Dad joke. We'll wipe her down, we'll stick her on there. There's a couple of dents we could knock out, but there's a lot of dents in the body we could knock out. This way the hubcap will match. You don't want too nice of a hubcap, because then somebody might try to steal it. Hopefully we got enough teeth left in our saw and it didn't go all South Dakota on us to do another one.
I'm on meth.
I'm on meth.
I'm on meth.
We're on meth. so much better. Man, this thing is looking good. Now if I wanted that stupid OD green, everyone's gonna be like, oh, is that a Jeep? Nice Scout. It's Duff's Bronco. Okay, one more to go. Comment down below what you think we should do with these things. Throw them in the trash, probably. Oh man, this thing looks way more gooder. God, just gotta get rid of those hideous bumpers and paint it and fix the dents and the rust and find some Bronco badges and pretty much everything else. So I mean, we're halfway there. Let's get this thing up in the air and fix a leak amongst some other things. Oh yeah, we're gonna put this up on the lift because we're in a new shop. It's got a lift. Go check out more Mortske Repair to find out more information on why we got a lift. My back approves. What do you think of that lift? Pretty swanky, huh, Duff? You can see the puddles this thing's been leaving when we park her in here. This is just in the last hour it's been in here. And of course, it's running low, so it was leaking way more than that before. And at first glance, you'd think, oh, it's coming from pinion seal. No, it's actually coming from the splines on that yoke, I believe. I have been wrong before. So we're gonna take this front drive shaft loose, and then we're gonna take the nut loose on the center of that yoke, maybe even pop the yoke out of there, clean her up good, and then we're gonna shmoo some silicone in there, because I think it's leaking between the yoke and the splines on the output shaft. Would be a good time to put a pinion seal in, but I don't think that's what it is. Because you can see how there's just a little drip back there, and it's all up here. Not so much back there, all up here. Not so much here or here, right here.
Right here. Not here or here so much, but right here. Nope.
You can see just how greasy it is in there. So we know it's coming through there. It's not leaking down here. Let's get that off of there. Once I find the right socket. Inch and an eighth it is. Let's go backwards. Now we just slide that yoke out of there. Maybe get a pan to catch any oil that does come out. You know, for Greta's sake.
How dare you!
I missed the bucket. Don't worry, we're catching it now if you can't hear it. Yeah, let's go clean this thing up. Does look pretty good in there. It's not all grooved up like we need a speedy sleeve. I wish we had a pinion seal. Maybe we do. Probably not though. This new shop we got that everybody's asking about came with a parts washer. So looks like somebody made it out of a whole 35-gallon drum and a pump and motor source. Oh, look at that. It's just fuel line and a couple of hose clamps. This is nice.
Whoa, very nice.
Old Puddin's the pressure washing king. We'll be the parts washing king. Just kidding, I hate this job. Well, that ain't really doing what we want, so let's go to the pressure washer. Yeah, it's caked down there pretty good. I don't feel like sitting here all day. Oh, hey, did I tell you we're in a new shop? And the new shop came with a Karcher pressure washer that's got heat. It's pretty awesome. Sick of me saying new shop a bunch? Yeah, that's how many millions of times that I had to read it in the comments the last 3 weeks in videos. So we got a new shop. And look at how clean that got it. That Puddin', he's really onto something with the pressure washing. She's a spicer. Look at how much room there is in this new shop. Never mind that thing. Or that thing. He's pretty cool though, aren't you? What do you think of the new shop? Or the beast, the bandit. Okay, I'm gonna clean off those splines a bit. I might even look for a part number for a pinion seal. Pinion seal, output shaft seal. See if we can find one of those. I don't think I got one though, so we're probably just gonna slide it back together. Clean that up with some brake cleaner. Shmoo some right stuff on there. Tighten her up, call it good. I slid the old yoke back up there, and we're gonna schmoo some right stuff all around between the splines on the yoke and the splines on the output shaft. I can't really show it that well while I'm doing it, so I figured I'd tell you now. Also, right stuff. Best silicone out there. It's expensive. It's by Permatex. It's the 1-minute gasket. And you just hope you don't ever have to take whatever it is that you put together. You put this on a differential cover, you don't want to have to take it off. You're going to bend the crap out of that cover. This is good stuff. This is what you want to use. It's the right stuff. The nighttime is the right time. All right, let's right stuff it up. I never use the tips on these things. I always throw them away, so I had to dig this one out of the trash. This is a perfect application for it. Probably should have let this thing drain overnight, because we already got oil coming out up there. I don't know if the right stuff's gonna like that. We about to find out. Worst case scenario, we just gotta take it apart, clean it up again. Where's this set up? Like a flange washer, or a flange nut and a flat washer. She'd seal better. I'm gonna wrap on her with the old BDBH, give her a couple ugga-duggas. Good enough. Now stop leaking. I tell you what. We're gonna clean her up real good so we can tell if it's leaking, because it's probably gonna. But at least we'll know where it's coming from next time. Maybe. If only we could combine this hoist and that pressure washer and wash underneath things. Then we'd be crapping in high cotton. What's high cotton like? We don't have any cotton around here. We got soybeans and corn. And a little bit of wheat. Tech tip of the day on your right stuff. Like I said, I never use these extensions. You take and you squeeze it. So you got a little schmoo blob dingleberry coming out. And you leave that there, and you let it dry. And next time you need it, you go boop, and you pop her out of there, and you're right stuffing it up. Tech tip of the day. So if you remember from one of the last installments on the old Bronco, our shocks were too short. So you know what that means. You get longer shocks, right? No. A bunch of you commented that they make shock extensions. Yeah, so I looked it up. Sure enough, they do. Amazon sells them. What is this? Oh. Those ratchet straps are making an awful lot of funny noise on that big jacuzzi tub, huh, Duff? Ellingson. Oh, they're the Thailand boys. Sure enough, Mr. Gasket offers shock extensions. Your hot rod helper. I think these are 3/8. Fine thread, yep, sure is. 3/8, 24, 3.5 inch long, zinc plated. Allows for up to 5 inches more travel for shocks. You don't measure the angle that they sit at, you just measure travel. I don't know. We're gonna see if they work though. It was like 20 bucks. And what am I gonna do with these shocks? I can't send them back. Probably could, but we're not that guy. Okay, let's see what we can do. Well, this isn't the hulkiest thing I've ever seen, but it's right up there. My suggestion, just get the right shocks. Well, there it is, boys and girls, the infamous Mr. Gasket shock extension installed. I'm not real proud of it, but I think it'll work just fine. With the short wheelbase that this thing's got, and being four-wheel drive and these 33-inch tires, 31s, whatever they are. Anywho, it doesn't ride that great anyway. It's stiff, so I don't think shocks are gonna make any difference. Plus it's got these hokey helper springs back here that they should probably just go away too. We got these shocks off the shelf and they work now, so thanks to whoever told us to use the shock extensions. Let's do the other side now. Since we got her up in the air, and we know the transfer case device is leaking, we better top her off. We don't want to burn up this cute little Dana 20, I think. Didn't take very much. It's amazing how little amount of oil it takes to make a real big mess on a floor. is where this thing was parked. It almost made it to the floor drain, Greta. Maybe. Maybe it did, but it didn't. All right, this thing's been sitting overnight. Let's see if the output shaft's leaking. Look at that. Nice and dry. Good to go, right, Duff? Since we got her up in the air, let's get rid of these silly helper springs. Well, we got those off there, and to be honest, I'm not really entirely sure how they work. They just were kind of clamped at the top. We had that poly pad in there. And you can see that clamp is pretty thin, so it wasn't really doing anything. Then there were some rivets in the front there, but they fell out. That's where the clamp was. I don't know if it just wedged in between there and there, and as it went up, it wedged against something back here. Because, I mean, it's just gonna ride on that end. But it don't look like it's worn up there. I don't know. Like, this is the usual helper spring I'm used to seeing. So as you get enough weight, this is gonna touch up here, and then that spring is gonna come into function. But this thing, I don't know what its function was. So comment down below if you've seen these before and if they actually work. We're just trying to get this thing leveled off a little bit more. And if anything, we could always get a new spring bolt. Cut that old one, take those helpers out. That'll at least lower it, the thickness of that spring. Less weight. Also, we got some new license plates. If you don't know much about Big Ole, it's probably the most famous first-gen Bronco you'll ever see. So, check it out. Remember how them bearings and the hubs were terrible? And I think they were a B2610. I forget the part number. Anyway, we're gonna put those in too. Well, that was way harder to get out than it was the last time. We got our new Torrington bearing here. We got our hub gear lubed up. We're gonna use our bearing driver. That way we get it in there nice and straight and we don't gall up a certain corner right here. The more you know. You could use a flat piece of iron or a socket or whatever. I got this, so we might as well use it, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just put it back together and do the other side. Let's shmoo a little grease in there first. All back together. It's all coming back to me. One more to go. I think we got everything wrapped up here, so we're gonna put it on the ground and do some stuff up top. We got her back on the ground. The choke cable ain't working. So I think what happened is it's supposed to be clamped over here and it all kind of slid over. And we got to get ourselves an air cleaner. So somebody out of Castleton, North Dakota sent us one for a V8. You can tell by how long it is. You can tell by the way it is.
You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
But what is it, G3? G3 Services LLC. Call them for all your dirt work, drainage, correction, and gravel driveways. They hooked us up with a 6-cylinder one. See how she's significantly shorter than the V8? So we're gonna see if that'll work. But I'm gonna adjust that choke cable first. This thing starts kind of hard, so we're gonna adjust that. Our choke cable pushed all the way in. We're gonna loosen this up. And we're gonna loosen this up. See, the problem is, with the choke cable all the way in, they got it just about tight up against the sheathing here, so we got to slide this out, and then we'll get some play on there. Tighten that down. Tighten this set screw down. You're gonna make sure your choke's all the way open when you do it. Now we're gonna pull the cable, and this butterfly should close. That's the plan anyhow. Okay, we got our cable all the way out, and it's not closed all the way. I think it's because we gotta move the cable down. That way it's wanting to pull it down. Otherwise you can't really pull it any closer to the cable here without rotating or pulling the whole slug this way. You get what I'm saying? It's all about the angle of the dangle. Let's try moving her down a hole, see what happens. All right, now let's see if we get a little bit more travel. Would you look at that? It's just about closed. Good enough for the girls we go with. Now let's get that air cleaner on there. Hopefully it utilizes these existing mounts over here on this side. When we split this thing apart, I just wanted to make sure it had an air filter in it. It's got a Wix in it. What a deal. G3 hooked us up. So let's put that together. See if we can't get it fitted on there. It didn't come with the hardware to hold it to the carburetor. And it also looks like the bracketry is different, so we might have to make something or just wing it. Just wing it is. Like I said, I think there's a bracket that goes from here down to that valve cover that must hold it up, but we don't have that. So we're just winging it. So let's find some 1/4-inch hardware to mount her to the roof of the carburetor. I think we're gonna have to plug that too so that it's not pulling air right out of the atmosphere, going right in the carburetor. And we'll drop that. This one at least gets filtered, or does it? Yeah, it would. This one's not, so we gotta plug that. Typically it would hook up to your PCV, but we don't have that option with this conglomeration of whatever this engine is, 1977 and 1966. So we're just plugging it. So it looks like that's about the right length bolt. So we're gonna go get a chunk of ready rod, cut her off a little bit longer than that so we can use a wing nut, because there's nothing I hate worse than having carburetor issues and you can't get at the carburetor because you don't have a 7/16 socket with you. At least this you can take off with your fingers or pliers. Air cleaner stud fabrication is not Duff's favorite thing to do, apparently. But it's got to be done. You always want to thread a nut on there first before you cut them off. That way you can chase the threads off with your hardware, like so. Look at that. Perfect. And maybe we'll back her out a little bit short on the threadage. Story of my life. That's the other thing that irritates me. People who put these carb studs in and they stick up that frickin' high. Trim it off to the right length. I think it should stay there. If you got one of these brackets that we need, or you can email us a picture of one, that would be much appreciated, because I don't really like that air cleaner just dancing around hanging from the top of that carburetor. And maybe we can cobble something in, but this should work for now. It's better than nothing. Unfortunately, we've been driving in a little bit of gravel with nothing on there. No big deal. I'm sure that 200 inline 6 loves all that gravel dust. Well, as you can see, we're missing a door panel over there. So we're gonna take this one and use it to make a template. How's that sound, Duff? It should be pretty much the same thing, except for there's a little lip rolled around here. So we just gotta roll that the opposite direction on that one. And then our holes should all be in the same spots and everything, allegedly. Let's get this one off and find out. Got all our screws out, but this GM Gwinner crank does not want to come off. We might have to persuade it a bit. Oh my word. I'm pretty sure they just hammered that on there. Frickin' cowboys. We got a few of these laying around so we can sacrifice this thing if we really got to. biscuit. I don't want to tap it on further because it'll never come off. How does something as simple as getting a door panel off become this difficult? Murphy's Law, right? Anything that can go wrong will. Should be Mortke's Law. You're just one twisted off screw away from turning a 15-minute job into an all-weekend job. This new shop doesn't make stuff like this any easier. Hey, did I tell you we got a new shop? Yeah, check it out. More Mortske Repair videos out there on the new shop and the old shop and other stuff. You just want to go for a ride. Door panel or no door panel, don't you? We're getting serious about this door handle now, Duff. Nothing like a $200 tool to take a door handle off. I'm not saying it's gonna work, but we're gonna give her a whirl. Bam! One shot. Yeah, I think they just ramrodded her on there. That's no good. Bronco guys, somebody's got some of these. Let us know. Probably can buy them new though, I hope. So now we got our template. Now we just need to transfer it to some materials. We got our handy dandy Miller metal thickness gauge. Measured this thing. She's 18 gauge. So I just happen to have a chunk of drop off 18 gauge material. We're gonna trace this off. Leave ourselves about 3/8 of an inch to account for the thickness or the depth of that bend, and then the radius of the material that we're going to use up in that bend. And then we're going to put on the old Bailey bead roller. I think what I'm going to do to cut this is use the old death wheel and then just kind of rough cut it, and then we'll finely tune it in the old Beverly over there. Sound like a good idea? Buy yourself a $1,000 welder. Get a keychain that's super handy for the rest of your life. Now we got her all rough cut, we're gonna use some spray cleaner to clean her off. One of Chin's old flannels. Sacrificial. Clean her up. Never mind the Oasis morning glory in the background. So what I got going on here, trace on our template. Before I did that, I measured a strong 1/4 inch because that's what our lip is. 1/4 inch, we're not going to use up much material on the radius. Marked it off here, lined it up with that line, traced it out, and then I put several marks, a strong 1/4 inch up and out, and then just slid it over and up, traced it. And we're going to cut along this one, the outside one, and then we're going to put it in our bead roller, and we're going to bead roll along that one. Seem like a good idea? Yeah, we're probably gonna screw it up. That's what we do. Good news is they're never side by side at any given time, so you can never tell the difference. And we can have this lip as deep or shallow as we want. We just gotta get longer, shallower screws, and it's just gonna set inset or outset from the inside of the door. Make sense? Yeah, you're right, it doesn't. All right, let's put this thing in the Beverly. Trim her up. Remember, don't cut on the wrong line. So we got our tipping dies and our Bailey bead roller here, and we're just going to follow that line right inside of where we were. We're not going to get a perfect 90, but we'll get it as close as we can get. And then we'll go from there. I'm gonna deburr that edge quick before we do it though. As I roll it through, I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure up. There you go, now I can see my line. I got the Cyclops in there assisting. I don't know which way I want to start. Either way I'm gonna screw it up. So we're just gonna try to follow the line as close as we can. Put a little pressure on it, get that nice tip. Go from there. We're probably gonna have to go over it a couple times. Slow and steady wins the race. Now we'll run her through one more time and see what happens. She's got a curve to her. We don't quite have our 90 down the edge, so we're gonna take and beat that against something. Get that 90 in there, and then if we gotta get the shrinker stretcher out, that's what we'll have to do. And then, yeah, in these corners we're gonna have to do some shrinking as well. Or some pie cutting, one or the other. We're getting there. Let's use the edge of our table here. Try and tap that over. We're gonna have to do that on every corner, so we might as well just do that. Over the old English knee so we can flatten her out a bit. Oh, see how it kinked right there? We're gonna shrink that hair. We got our Bailey shrinker stretcher over here. We got our shrinking teeth, you can tell because as I push the pedal, they go together. You guessed it, the stretching ones spread apart as you step down. We're gonna try to squeeze together where it kinked right there. Maybe even a couple other spots to try to get her flat again. Do this side as well. I'm gonna try to see it's dipped down there and try to pull it in so it goes back together. See, we even went too far. No, it's high there. It's low on this end, so let's go a little bit on this side. We're getting there. And we'll stretch it right there. We're gonna shrink a little bit more right in there. Try to pull her back in. Still a little low right there. It's just high in this one spot where I got a little wild. A little on the ends here too. So she's got a curve this way. Watch what happens with 3 or 4 good squeezes. Pretty straight. Got one little high spot right there. It's getting pretty rigid there too. That's the beauty of, that's why they put this on there, so it doesn't have, this is not just a flat piece of metal flopping in the wind. You know, that thing would wobble, wobble, wobble. Now she's pretty good and solid. I think that's about as far as we're going to take it, other than I'll weld up these corners and then we'll smoothen them out a little bit. We're just going to drill our holes. Not bad for a hack. Ready to transfer our holes, so we don't want to leave it, lay it down like that. If we flip it the other way, it should be a mirror image. Look at the size of it. Just spot frickin' on. Like we knew what we were doing. That should be right. So here, armrest here, door handles here. Really, while we got the bead roller out, we could put some sweet designs and such in there, but we're not. I'm over it. Just don't have it in me. I think I might even leave the armrest holes for now until we can find an armrest. We'll just draw it on there and pretend like it's there. Something old Puddin would do. Speaking of that, go harass him about his new shop that he hasn't told any of you about. Okay, I'm gonna drill some holes. All right, everything lines up. We're gonna drill this. Well, see if it fits. You can find some shiny-ish hardware that matches. Only found 6 though, and I think we need 7. Good enough. 80 degrees, wearing a flannel.
Silver door panel matches your visors.
Good call. All right, looks good enough for the girls we go with. We aren't gonna put handles on because we don't have a door to go up and down. A window, and we can just reach out and hit our latch from the inside. So I think that's about wrapped up. I wanna find some flathead stainless screws. Oh, listen to that 6.5 diesel per Mojo. He knows how to roll. Square bodies for life, right, Duff? But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap that up. Like I said, we'll keep an eye out for some armrests, or we could fabricable something if we really needed to. We're just gonna have our arm hanging out right here where the paint's worn off anywho. And maybe we'll put some sweet flames, bead roll those in there. Okay. Oh, we do have the door handle on this side I can put back on. Your SOL on your side. Sick of her drive, let's center up this steering wheel. That's really irritates me. You go down the road, it's like that. So I got a trick to show you for that too. Also, Chin just showed up, so that means we're about out of time for the week. And it's raining out, and we just took the top off, so. Super. You wanna go for a ride in the rain? You don't care. Well, Duff, you go for a ride? I suppose. Well, let's see how our choke works. What do you feel about driving this thing with no top? That good, huh? Choke? God, choke doesn't feel good. Don't put lawnmower choke cables on your car. Buckled up? Yeah, me too. You wanna open the door? No thumbs, huh? I'll get it. The brake lights still work. How you doing? Well, it's looking pretty blue out there. Oh, I gotta grab my marker, show you my trick. So what I do is I get going straight down the road, and then I mark the steering column and then where it meets the steering wheel. So that's how I know it's straight. So then I pull back in the shop, line that up so I know my steering wheels are straight. And then I pop the steering wheel off, turn it to what really is straight, put it back on, bada bing, bada boom. Tech tip of the day. Carry a marker with you. Let's clean that off so we can see it in the dirt. Because we're gonna grab a black marker and it's a black column. Just kidding, there was a mark all in my pocket the entire time. Don't let me forget to mark that. What would I do without you, Duff? Probably make, oh, it's raining right now. Son of a biscuit. Well, it's gonna be a quick trip. It's gonna be a wet trip. Good thing we got vacuum wipers, huh, pal? Gosh dang heavy for a little 6-popper. Oh, definitely flings a lot more debris around with no top though. I wonder what it looks like going down the road. Does my head stick above the windshield? I feel like the top of my hat does. Oh, is this guy stuck over here? Should we go pull him out? my marker out. Get going straight. Set my GPS. Ugh. This is a two-person job. One person steers. One person marks the steering wheel. Oh, he ain't stuck. He's just holding up the planter. And he's going to pull on the road right in front of us. Look at that. Hey, it's Pookie! He's not stuck. Usually he is. He's the guy who pulled us out from getting stuck. With his fancy quad track inner smash and all. Man. Eyes on the road. Windshield's getting real wet, but we're staying pretty dry. It's more so the debris that's flying in our face. Also, it's our local car show tomorrow. Wow. Used to be local. We don't live in town anymore because we got a new shop. So I guess I haven't mentioned the new shop because everybody says new shop, new shop, new shop. I figured, yeah, I should bring it up again because it's probably been a whole 4 minutes. So go check out more Mortske Repair on the YouTubes. We'll give you more information on the new shop. Maybe we'll drive this to the car show. We'll check out the old shop and how empty it is now. It's not really empty, but emptier than it was. We should blow all the crap out of here before we do that though. Really class the Bronco up. We should name this. We can't call it Big Holy because that's like the most famous Ford Bronco ever. It's not even, it's maybe the most famous Bronco in Sargent County. We ain't split a donut in a good day on the YouTubes. Oh, never mind, we did it in 61. Anyway, donut time. Hang on, Duff. Short little wheelbase, she gets right around. Oh yeah, she's cloudy. She's dry. We needed that rain. Did you know that it always rains after a long drought? Now you know. We got our little marky mark in the funky bunch on the steering column. I will give it that. The steering on this thing is tight. Like, almost too tight. Also, the short wheelbase with all tires, it's a handful. You want to keep your hands at 10 and 2, your eyes on the wheels. We need to figure out the horn button situation as well. It just irritates me, these aftermarket wheels and all that. What do you think about this thing, Duff? Pretty good? This is keeper between the ditches. Alright. Let's do this. Oh, Pookie was just out seeding the headlands. Looks like they got the corn planted the rest of the field on the hilltops. Headlands must have been a little wet. So they stuck them in later. Maybe they put some beads in there. I don't know. Oh yeah, they definitely put some beads in the Lowe's beads. Farming things. Was it too wet out there? You don't like sticking your head out? Just kind of tiptoeing around. Or you feeling unsafe with the Bronco. Let's go get under cover. Before we get any wetter. Will it chirp them on asphalt? Watch it die. Was that fun, Duff? There's got a bit of wheel hop. But it chirped. Oh, yeah. Just wait till we get that divider thing out of here, Duff. You can roam from front to back. It's like a pickup in a car. Sweet. Made her back to the shop. Didn't have to walk. We should have a sandwich to celebrate. Idle's got to come down. Yeah, we need to figure out that choke linkage lever. They definitely got to turn the idle down and fix the choke cable situation. It's not good. Let's get this steering wheel. Oh, it gets so dusty in here. So dusty. I don't think it's from the roads. I think it's from all the crap that's inside here. Are you dusty too? Who's a dusty dog? Okay. Let's fix the steering wheel situation. Hopefully the camera picks this up. We got our little mark right there and right there. We got those two lined up. That's what I marked. That's what going straight down the road is like. I know, you want me to pet you. Okay, okay dokey. So now got the wheel set like that. We'll just leave the wheel and we'll pop it off. Use our puller. Oh my gosh, I know. You need all the attention. And then we rotate it so that it's straight, and then we remount it back on there, and then it'll be straight going down the road. That's your tech tip of the day. Brought to you by Duff. All right, I gotta go. Duff needs attention. Before he chews my face off. So now, if we slide that on there straight, the wheels should be facing straight. Should be good to go. Except for I broke the little horn doodad. Son of a biscuit. We're not having a horn anymore. Need a new steering wheel adapter now. Always something. All right, got her seated. Now we can put her spacer back on there. I suppose I could have done that beforehand, but we like doing things multiple times. Way better. This is that little horn disc that I knocked off. Whoopsies. She's pretty much ready to go, other than blowing some crud out of the inside. All right, let's get all this dirt out of here so we don't look like dirt balls when we get to the fancy car show tomorrow, you know, when everybody's sitting around by their lawn chairs with their crying doll figurines. Probably pick up the nails before we end up with those in the yard of our new shop. Alright, we just need our lawn chair and we're ready for car show season. I suppose we leave it outside long enough to just get its one little bath. We'll put our floor mats back in. Real nice. Which way did this go now? I want to put her in backwards. We'd look silly then. Look at that, Duff. We didn't even have to wash it. I just letting Mother Nature do its thing out here. So I mean, that's how I get ready for a car show. I might go wash my hands first, fill that cooler up, grab my straw hat. Yeah, just blow the heavy chaff out and send her down the road, because I'm not one for polishing a car. I grew up doing that. My dad was all into polishing the black paint and the torque thrusts and the chrome radius rods and chrome super bell dropped axle and stuff on a 34 Ford 3-window. And I'm overwashing cars. I don't even like going to car shows. If it weren't the local one, I probably wouldn't even be there. All right, let's get this thing back inside before my butt gets wet when I have to drive it tomorrow. Hopefully it don't rain tomorrow. That wouldn't be good. I really should patch that hole, especially if it's warm out. A lot of heat comes through there. Not so much this one or these ones. Mainly that one. Gets your calf real warm. We should probably take care of that. Not tonight. It's sandwich time. Maybe in the morning before we go. I'm not going to do it then either. Well, new day. We got a couple hours to get ready. Also, it rained pretty good last night, and the beauty of this shop is the driveway slopes towards the pad, and there's no eave, is that what you call it? Overhang on the front of the building, so we get Lake Duff every time we get a good rain, don't we, Duff? You gonna get the broom and push that out? That'd be great. Good news is the floor kind of gets cleaned every time it rains, but not really. So, measured out this hole, and I came up with like 7 by 3.5. We're gonna put that plate on there to seal that up. But first we gotta clean up some of these boogers so that that plate will sit flush. You checking out my work? You just want to go for an RIDE. Yeah, give me, I don't know, an hour. Okay, or jump in there right now. All right, while I do that, you want to take that threshold out so you can go back and fetch me beers. I mean, cold beverages, non-alcoholic, overdriving. We definitely don't condone consuming and driving around here. Okay, I'm gonna chase Duff out of here and then we're gonna do some grinding. All right, let's see how this fits. Well, there's a gap down there. Maybe we can layer like that. We'll figure something out if we got to. Sure would have been nice if all of this would have been straight. Okay, let's go add some radius to these edges and we'll transfer that to steel. There you go, use the 7/8 socket, added a radius to all those. I just like the look of a radiused patch panel, cover, whatever you want to call it, as opposed to squared off edges. And plus, if you ever got to weld it, then it doesn't burn through on the edges and stuff. You know, stuff like that. All right, now we got to find some steel. I'm gonna take and clean this up with a flap disc a little bit, and we'll put some marks on it, and we'll roll a nice little bead around the edge. That'll clean her up a bit. So I marked ourselves a border, what is it, 5/16 of an inch around from the edge. That's kind of what I thought looked good. Probably not what's gonna look good. I should have probably went further. But that's what we're gonna try to roll along, and that'll give us a nice little shape to this. That'll probably make it all crooked. Watch, just like that door panel. See what happens. Now we gotta change out our tipping dies and some offset dies. So run our test sample through here. Maybe. And you can see it pushes it down on the right side there. Should be good to go. I mean, now it's just on us to screw up. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen it up, get it in there, get it started, and then clamp it back down. And the corners are the tricky part. All right. Get my treadle pedal where I need it. Going real slow, even slower on the corners. There you have it. Right back to where we started. Loosen up our clamp here. We got ourselves a nice little bracket. That radius kind of hosed up a bit. Not too bad. Bracket. Cover. So, we'll take some brake cleaner, wipe off those lines so you can't see how bad I missed them. And nobody will be the wiser. It actually stayed pretty straight. A little bent in on that corner. That might have been where we started. We can straighten that out on the little English stump. Drill a couple holes in the corners. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Got yourself a nice little cover. All you gotta do is have yourself one of these fancy Bailey bead rollers that never gets used. We use it twice in a week now. Maybe we'll even use it for that other cover if we got time. How about that?
How about that?
Let's drill some holes in this so we can mount it. Put her on there. Shouldn't look too bad. It'd be really cool if we had a DA that we could find and scuff it up a bit, but that's the old shop somewhere. You got left behind. Good thing we didn't leave you behind, huh, Duff? Man, you're just dead weight today, huh? You want a bath? Get you all cleaned up for the car show? Not happening. How about a ride? Ugh. I don't even want one of those either, eh? We got our holes marked out. I measured them with a tape measure. Nothing I hate worse than people just throwing holes wherever they think they want to be, and then they're not in line, and they're whatever. Make up some metric. I'll take the extra 45 seconds. Let's drill this. I'm gonna go touch this up quick with the flapper disc. we should be about ready to put her on. Let's see how she fits. It's pretty good up here. We got this gap down here, so I'm wondering if we can't do a little trimming up here yet. Get her tilted down, seal that gap up. That'll make it look a lot better. Instead of just schmooing some body fill in there like these guys did. That's not even body seam sealer. It's literally Bondo. Seam sealer, body filler. Don't use body filler for seam sealer. Watch us screw this up. That's lots better. We could maybe tap her down in there. We don't even need screws in the bottom side. Look at that. Just ram jam a couple screws in there. Call it good. I always want to check to make sure there's nothing on the back side of them screws, which I clearly didn't do. Oh yeah, look at that. It's like Puddin's Fab Shop did it. That old Puddin. Go check him out. Get some merch from him too. Get some merch from us so that we can keep this new shop. Did I tell you we got a new shop? Yeah, we got a new shop. I prefer the next level tees. They work real good when it's hot and swampy out. Get them a size bigger. If you're an XL like me, get a XX. If you're a schmedium, eat a cheeseburger, but get a large. Okay, let's make a cover for that one too. And I don't know what we should do here. Another cover, or should we just get a center console with, you know, a cup holder and somewhere to keep our registration and sunglasses and whatever else you want to keep in there. Tools for when we break down the side of the road. Let's fix this one first. Nobody will see that one, even though those were the most terribly drilled holes ever. That don't look bad if I do say so myself. If we painted that and it didn't have that stupid silly line down it, it'd look even better. Oh yeah, other tech tip of the day. Go on the Amazonia and get yourself a set of Hitachi Pilchi 410 stainless steel pan screws, number 8, 1/2 inch to 1.5 inch. These things are good. As you can tell, I really use up these short ones. They work good for holding patch panels on until you get them welded on, or holding covers on, such. I forget what this was, 10 or 20 bucks, but it's been a lifesaver. Use these things all the time. Need to get another kit or get some more short 1/2 inch ones. Stainless so they don't rust. And they're self-tappers, so you don't have to drill a pilot hole. Get one, you'll thank me later. I'll try to put a link in the description, but I'll forget. Let's make another cover. Cover looks pretty dang good too. We ain't got time to put the other one in. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We gotta get on the road. You found some mud. Of course, it rained last night. All right, let's do this. Load up. Go for a ride. Let's go. No, it runs, I swear. Come on, load up. You don't believe me. You don't want to go to a car show either? Yeah, I'm not a fan of them either. All right. Guess you can walk there. Well, once you bump the ignition switch, then he thinks it'll actually run. Choke cable definitely needs to be on the list. Well, there you have it. We got our 1966 Ford Bronco ready for the first car show and probably last that we'll ever take it to. So we got some hubcaps on it. We got some leaf springs out of it. We fixed a major transfer case leak. We got some patches in the floor. We got an air cleaner on it finally. We just ran through the whole gambit of silly things. We got shocks on the back via super awesome Mr. Gasket shock extensions. No affiliation with us. But yeah. Oh yeah, we got the top off. That's the best freaking part of this deal, and the tops of the doors. But we found a bunch more stuff we got to fix, like all the hardware that's missing on the door tops and the latches, and still got to take the threshold out, and we got to find a different top for it. And I really want to put floors in it. Just a bunch of stuff. Bumpers. Needs bumpers. We should paint it. I was checking that out. Paint's like $300 to $600 a gallon. We don't know how to paint. We don't know how to prep. We don't know much of anything. We know how to go looking for poop to roll in and critters to find in the swamp. Nope, Duff's doing his business over there, so he wants his privacy. So another episode of the Bronco. Seems like you guys dig this thing. I really do dig it. It's just hard for me to stay focused on a project for several weeks at a time. That's why we kind of bounce around in between them all. But we got this one so we can enjoy it this summer. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna enjoy it. So remember, it doesn't matter how you get it done, as long as you're having fun. Going topless. It's fun.